Amelia. I'm so glad that you're here on my new channel to tell it like it is. If you haven't heard of it, just watch the last video if you haven't already so that you can get to know me and who I am and what I do. Before we get into this video, I just want to make 2 corrections. I had 2 errors in my last video that my mother was like, Amelia, you need to fix this. When I said that I moved to New Bern for the first 2 years of my life, I actually meant to say that I was in New York for the first 2 years of my life, and then I moved to New Bern when I was 2, and we stayed there until I was about 4 years old, and we came back to New York. Then we stayed in Connecticut in this little apartment for maybe a summer. Maybe not even a whole summer, but maybe a month and a half, something like that. But we ultimately came back to the city because my sister got a good opportunity to go to one of the best schools in Brooklyn. So, just had to up and leave again, back to New York, to the city life, dear Jesus. But yes, also, my Spanish side of the family is from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, instead of Mango, Puerto Rico. I am not good with names and stuff, so I thought it was Bagwell. I'm so sorry, guys, but yes, so that is all settled. So now we can get into the rest of the video. So if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I recently made a blog post about how to get away with murder, but I feel like there's more stuff that I could have talked about or really dived into. So this is what today's video is about. Just really diving into more about why I really like the show, more insights on some things that really blew my mind. But yes, so first thing, let me tell y'all, Annalise, I don't care what nobody say, she is the strongest woman I have ever seen on Netflix. Well, maybe one of, but she is, man, look, Viola Davis, she deserves so much credit for all the work that she does. Somebody said that she was a black Meryl Streep. I need her to get all those awards like Meryl Streep, okay? Cause hello. But although she was strong, she also had a lot of inner emotions and inner issues that she hadn't resolved from her childhood. So I believe when she was in college, she started to date other women, and especially her ex and first love, Eve. First of all, she was battling with the fact that she even was in love with a woman, because all she knew was that she wanted to be this perfect woman that had a husband and kids and got the great job that she always wanted to do. It was just, I don't know what really happened, but she gave us snippets and stuff like that when she was talking to her mom about it. But essentially, she went to therapy to meet with Sam Keating, who eventually turns out to be her husband later on, but he was just supposed to be her psychiatrist. Now, if you know anything about therapy, there is a certain limit that you are supposed to go to. You're not supposed to interact outside of the session. You're not supposed to be in the same area. If you happen to see each other at a baseball game or at a restaurant, you could just wave a little and then just continue doing what you're doing. Don't be interacting. I don't know what happened to those rules when it came to Annalise and Sam. It was Annalise was you know what, I don't want to be gay. I'ma just go fly into some other man, make up an excuse, because he's staring at me all kinds of ways, looking at me like I'm a piece of meat, And, I mean, she stole another woman's man. It's not her proudest moment, but she did it. And then she ended up having a baby of her own. But because Frank decided he wanted to listen to Sam, it landed in so many different areas. It was like he had to get rid of Sam's affair lover, and then after that he had to get involved with another woman, right? It's always these women out here doing some craziness, causing these men to, get in bed with them, and then make this assumption that they're supposed to do something in return for them. Like, what? Like, what? But that is just the tip of the iceberg. The last season, season 6, we found out a whole lot of information that we wasn't supposed to know. Well, I guess we were supposed to know like a long time ago, but then the pieces came together in the last season. I don't know why they do that, but just because I want to know more, Anyways, we find out that Sam had been essentially sleeping with his sister. Now, it was all speculation. It came from Vivian, which is Sam's first wife, who he left for Annalise, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways, so she had made an assumption that the sister was coming after Annalise and trying to get her to go to jail, and the reason why the FBI was after them. But Annalise was like, nah, that's not happening. Get out of my house. But she said it in a very assertive and firm way so that, she just get out of the house so that she could really think about it. Because, they had a flashback of Annalise talking to Sam's sister and saying stuff about the incest that she presumed that they were having, right? So, okay. So Annalise is like, okay, so maybe this is what's going on, so let me look into it. So she has Tegan look into it, and come to find out, the sister missed 84 or 89 days of school, and she was like, for what? Like, what are you missing 84 or 89 days of school for? And then Annalise thought about it. She was like, not if you're pregnant. I was like, oh, scoop. So essentially, Sam and his sister were in an abusive home, and their parents didn't really love them. They didn't really show them any affection, and they found affection and love with each other. Now, how that went down, we don't really know, but it seemed as though Sam's sister raped Sam. I don't know the whole logistics of everything because they didn't really go into it, but Sam was always trying to find ways to help everyone. I think that's why Sam became a psychologist as well as his sister, because they were not only trying to help others, but they were also trying to understand why they were doing the things that they were doing to each other as children. Now, look, I mean, I'm not the one to judge, but that to me is gross. Like, don't be doing that, man. Just find you another person to be messing with. You don't have to mess with each other. Y'all are brother and sister. Y'all supposed to just find love and affection in ways that are healthy, but here nor there. So of course they find out that Sam's sister had a baby. So they do DNA tests. After Annalise had a hallelujah moment, right? And she was thinking, maybe since it wasn't in April, it had to be in March. She looked at her calendar, saw a date. Now, I'm thinking it's Bonnie, because they go straight to Bonnie in the next scene. So I'm like, wait, is it Bonnie? Wait a minute. What? So, okay. So we go throughout like the whole episode, well, to the end, and then we find out it's Frank. Now, okay, let's backtrack some more. So when Sam was still alive and Annalise's house was still non-burned and non-awesomed. Um, they were all in the house together. Bonnie and Frank had a secret relationship together. So, how did they find out? Well, they ended up having relationals down in the basement and something fell. So, Sam walked all the way downstairs and he saw them. And um, by the next day, Sam had told Frank that you need to stop seeing Bonnie because she's always gonna find someone that's toxic and someone that's just not right for her. And since you've been in jail and we took you out of jail, you need to just leave her alone. And he was like, you can't be telling me what to do, blah blah blah. So he had to tell Frank that Bonnie was raped by her father and that he was essentially selling her to other men, and paying for sex with his daughter. I was like, wait, whoa, hold up, what? So I was like, how do you just tell somebody that out of nowhere? Like, eh? So, okay. Essentially, with Bonnie, ever since she was like a little girl, I think it was like 8 or something like that. Don't quote me, I don't remember. But her father has started to rape her. And then, it got to a point where he started taking videos of them together and then posting it online. And then all these other weirdos was like, let me go and get some. And that's what they did. And I was just like, what? Wait a minute. First of all, I don't condone any of that, but it's just so weird. Like, how do you do that to your own flesh and blood? Like, not even flesh and blood, but like just a person in general. You know them, and if it was like, I don't know, maybe like your mother, like you wouldn't want that to happen. So why would you do that in the first place? But it's a show, but it's real life stuff that happens every day. Like, it's just so gross. So Frank decided to end the relationship, and even though it broke his heart, he did it anyways, knowing that, these were the things that were said and they were sort of kind of true. But in the end, it was like Sam was trying to get Bonnie from not dating someone that was flesh and blood to him, or just like having Frank continue to be the screw up that he was. I don't know. That was their speculation. I'm just saying. But as we could see later on, after Laurel leaves, he starts to get more in tune with his relationship with Bonnie and the fact that he still loved her and all that good stuff. So, they ended up back together like it was supposed to be. So, all's well. But I did mention a few things within the blog post that I do want to really dive a little bit deeper in. So we're going to talk about the effects of sexual abuse. Now, okay, this is not something that I know a lot about, but I know a lot of people that have been sexually abused. I myself have been in a situation where I felt uncomfortable and felt like, this is not what I wanted. But this is not about me. This is about the effects of sexual abuse as a whole. 1 in 6 women in America have experienced rape, and 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys have experienced sexual abuse during their childhood. In fact, 44% of sexual trauma happens before the age of 18. Due to this trauma and the negative emotions that are linked to it, there are a lot of mental health conditions that can come up in a survivor after they have experienced any sort of sexual abuse, whether it be rape, whether it be any sort of like touch that is not consented, just anything that's protruding another person's body parts, or just their own personal space. So the first thing that I found on a website called Good Therapy is depression. Now, I am one that has experienced both depression and anxiety throughout my entire life. And it's something that happens on and off. But it isn't really as bad as it used to be. Of course, I have grown very different relationships with others that has helped me to get through. I've gone to therapy, I've gone to just different people that have allowed me to just grow past those things. But those that have depression that is linked to sexual trauma feel as though they're unable to protect their body, which can bring on a lot of feelings of hopelessness and unworthiness and feelings of despair. These depressive feelings can be either long lasting or they can also be short and not as bad as the ones that we really see on TV or stuff like that. So, yeah. As far as anxiety goes, the fear of being attacked is always a thing that is in the back of their mind. Thinking that, you know, it could be somebody they know, it could be the next person on the street that they see. Like, they're always like scared of it. Because of that, they can experience panic attack and agoraphobia, which is symptoms of anxiety in situations where the person perceives their environment is unsafe with no easy way to escape, like that of open spaces, public transit, shopping centers, or simply being outside of their home. And because of that, a lot of people just stay inside. In some cases, a lot of survivors have a lot of fear of those that are similar or look like their attacker, which causes a lot of them to feel like, you know, they're unable to be in control of the surroundings that they're in. So they do a lot of staying in or staying around people that they trust type of situations. So, yeah. Post-traumatic stress disorder is another thing that can be a cause of sexual abuse. A lot of people can associate PTSD to a lot of different situations, mainly to those in the military, but PTSD can be for anything in any sort of situation that causes a lot of trauma. A lot of survivors that have PTSD may experience intense memories of the abuse. These flashbacks can cause a survivor to lose track of time and their surroundings. Personality disruptions is another cause of sexual abuse that can come up in many of survivors. The behavior can be linked to the actual abuse itself, or it can be a part of any sort of personality disruption like fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment is a characteristic in a borderline personality disorder that characterizes an overwhelming worry that people close to you will leave. So I think that's kind of why Annalise had Bonnie and Frank around her all the time, because those are the people that she was close to. Those are the people that have seen her at her worst and seen her at her best. And, you know, it allows her to have people that she trusts around her. But of course, with everything going on, with everyone getting killed, she's just like, I don't know who to trust now, because everyone is doing stuff behind my back, especially getting connected in murders from the FBI. So, you know, yeah, there's that. I did say in my blog that Annalise did have issues with attachment issues. That is essentially when people are unable to attach closely to others. This could include not being able to attach with people at all, or feeling freely to attach with so many different people. So in Annalise's case, she has been with so many different men and sometimes women, where she's just doing it because she thinks that it will give her satisfaction and will give her feelings of love and hope and joy. But in reality, it's just continuing to bring her down, and that's essentially just not working out for her. And it brings her to the point where she has to find another form of coping. And that coping that she uses is addiction. survivors are 26 times more likely to use drugs. So drugs can be anything from cocaine to marijuana to crack to alcohol to just, any sort of substance that can cause her to not feel like she is herself. Drugs and alcohol are usually used to help soothe any pain or any memory that you may have during that time. But of course, as we all know, that feeling of soothing and that feeling of just getting rid of those memories always seems to go away. So she just wanted to keep drinking and drinking and drinking until she got to a point where she was going to a club and met this guy, and they started doing drugs together, and she started pouring back a whole variety of different alcohols into her system. And she ended up passed out on the club floor. She had to go to rehab. It was just a whole thing. But I say all of this to say that there are certain experiences within Annalisa's life that caused her to be the way that she was, and one of those was the effects of sexual abuse, as well as Sam and Bonnie that also had that same situation of trying to find different ways to cope with their sexual abuse, and they were like, you know what, let me just do this, let me just do that, and maybe this will help me get my life together. Maybe I will be able to help others in order to help myself. So it's just a whole thing. But that was all I have for you today. If you have any questions or thoughts about the topics that I talked about today, feel free to comment down below. And if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, like, and comment. I hope to see y'all in my next video. I'm not really sure what that would be about yet, but I will definitely let y'all know. See you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, it's your favorite writer, Amelia. I'm so glad that you all are here on my new channel, To Tell It Like It Is. Hey everyone, it's your favorite writer, Amelia. I'm so glad that you're all here. You can get to know me and who I am and what I do. So I was in New York for the first 2 years of my life, and then I moved to New York. And she was in college. She started to date other women, and especially her ex. I don't remember her ex's name. Oh dear. First of all, hold on, I can't. Now, it was all speculation. It came from an assertive. Alright.